Hello. We got Donald and Tillery, y'all. We got both of them. Good to see you, my brother. Show you right. Oh, it's getting hot out there now. Bring up the air conditioning, George. You need some more air in this place, man. Show you back. Love you, Kim. Love you, baby. Hey. Y'all tired yet? You ain't tired yet? We know it's hot out there, don't we know that? You need some more air. Is it hot out there? You need a little more air. When you need some more air, well, let's find out where George is. Hey, George. A child is born with no state of mind. He was blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too, because only God knows what you go through. You grow up in a ghetto, living sucking rain, and your eyes will sing the song to behave. Places you stay and where you stay will look like one great big alleyway. You'll admire all the number book takers, the dumb pimps, the poochers, and the bigger money because they be driving big cars, spending 20s and 10s, and you wanna grow up to be just like them. Smugglers, slammers, burglars, gamblers, pickpockets, peddlers, evil panhandlers. You say I'm cool, I'm no fool, but then you wind up dropping out of high school. Now you're unemployed, walking around, trying to stick up king. You got sent up, now your manhood is taken. The next 2 years, in the use and abuse. So one day, it was plain to see, you was cold, but now your eyes sing. How you live so fast? Show you right. Show you right. Show you right. But you know you're right. Oh, you're beautiful. Y'all be getting off, I swear. Y'all bad. Y'all be getting awful, I'm telling you. All right. Is she lovely? Good to see you, Teresa. Love you, darling. We got Sweet Nicole in the house with us tonight. I think she's upstairs there. coming to party with us tonight. Thank you, babe. Brother Leon, thank you for coming. All right. We'd like to say hello to everybody that was at the Players Ball. Standing tall. Oh, I see my little red top coming through the door. Just go right on, spinning. Going round and round. Oh, I don't want to stop. All right, we'd like to say hello to Cheryl also. And special dedication going out to Big Larry. Big Larry and Big Brother Bruce. Also on the second floor. Oh, don't you know? You got the chef cook down there, y'all. Got it all laid out for you. Because he carried like that. Talking about soon. Soon, all of it will be ready. And you'll be able to check out a variety. Because he fixes the variety. So good. Collard greens, black eyed peas. Collard greens, black eyed peas. That's what he do. Collard greens, black eyed peas. Fix that kind of stuff. Ham hop, collard greens. Collard greens, black eyed peas. All right, we'd like to say hello to Jennifer Panda. Jennifer Panda, also Aline, Vanity, Claudette, and Queenie. Am I right? Yeah, okay. All right. Good one. Holler for more. Love to see young moving up and down that floor. Yeah. I wanna try to make you boogie until you holler for more. Yeah. I wanna go with it, but y'all dance too fast for me. Yeah. I wanna make love to you. You can set me free. Yeah. I wanna go with you, but you dance too fast for me. Yeah. I wanna make love to you, girl. You can make me scream. Yeah. Now, boogie alright, woman. Yeah. What is wrong with you, girl? Yeah. Boogie on, I got later. Yeah. What you trying to do to me, girl? I boogie on later. Now, baby, can't you see what you done to me? Boogie on, precious lady. Yeah, yeah. It should be you and me, girl. Yeah. Do it. Yeah. What is wrong with you, girl? Hey, girl. Oh, hey, baby. Girl. What you trying to do to me, girl? Boogie on, make you on mine. Yeah, yeah. Baby, can't you see just what you done to me? Boogie on, go, lady. Yeah. It should be you and me. On the floor with the greatest of ease, you can just about boogie in the way that you can be. You can rock your bottom, cause I know that you got 'em. You can't do without it, don't tell me you forgot it, cause you got the look and that's what it took to get the hook. And now you got the sugar. I touch your glass, baby, I know you can last. Then after that you got another test to pass. And we like to party, we like to party. We don't cause trouble, we don't bother nobody. We are just a man that's on the share mic. Rock up on this mic and we'll rock the mic right now for all of y'all. Keeping y'all in hell time, just to see you smile and enjoy yourself. Cause it's cool, the cause, the cozy condition that we create. You see, that is our mission. So listen now to what we say. Hey, this type of shit may happen any day. Around 10 o'clock in the morning, I need myself a stretch up on the yawning. Went to the bathroom to wash up. I passed some soap on my face and my hands on the cup. I said, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the top choice of them all? There was a rumble on the man, 5 minutes it lasted. The mirror said, you are, you conceited bastard. Well, that's true, that's why we never have no kind of pizza. And I washed off the soap and I brushed my gold teeth. And you know I love away, my skin is pale. Then I got the files from my fingernails. Like food to the light under my big hair. With the bubbles in the chest so I can have a bubble hair. And clean ride with the body and hair. You on a brand new Gucci underwear. And for all the girls that I might take home, I got the Johnson Baby Dollar, the Polo Cologne, fresh, dressed like $1 million bucks. Shoes and my slide socks. I stepped out my house, stopped short, oh no. I went back in, I forgot my Kango, and then I did it, and then I ran through an alley, bumping to the girl, salad from the valley. Now this is the girl, plays hard to get. So I said, what's wrong? She looked up and said, she said, it's all because of you. I'm feeling sad and blue. You took my love. My life is filled with rainy days. I love you so, man. Damn, how much you never know. Away from me. To do, she was crying over me and she was feeling blue. I said, don't cry, why don't you dry your eyes? Look up your mother with those 2 little eyes. Her mean mother stepped up, said to me, I look Sally in the face, dapped her in the eye, punched her in the belly, then stepped on her feet, slammed the child on the hard concrete. That lady was strong, the kids were born. Something was wrong. I said, what is going on? I tried to break it up. I said, stop it. Leave her. She said, if I can have you, never she gave her. Grabbed it closely by my socks, and I took the hell out of her hand. The chicken got good. She gave cheese and she caught up quick. Stuck a finger in the face of fancy judge. Why don't you give me a plane so that we can go cruising in my OJ? And if you give me that okay, I will give you all my lesson bread. Now shut the paper down, can't you see? Hey, somehow your words just hit somebody. I just love your jazzy words now. Baby, my love is here to stay. On and on and on, she kept on. This lady was around before my mother was born. I said, cheer up. I gave her a kiss. You can't have me, I'm too old for you, kiss. She said, no, you're not in this. She started crying. I said, I'm 55. She said, what? Stop lying. Well, I am. Why don't you go ask my mama? Hey, hey, I can't be your lover. Well, I am. Why don't you go ask my mother? Hey, hey, I can't be your lover. I am now. Go ask my mama. Hey, Sheila, I can't be your lover. Hey, baby, don't stop with the tick-tock. Don't my little red top. You keep right on spinning now, because if you stop, I'll have to drop it all. You the tick tock, don't stop here. Oh. Yeah. Wow. Wow. You real now. For real now.
Let me do this real quick. Got a feedback. Talking like a mother. See, Nico the father. It's Nico, right? Turn that down, son. I hit there with the father, son. Say somebody hit you with it. It's one of the mics too loud. That's all it is. Turn the speaker face to opposite. Give me real quick this I'm like some Palo Santos up here before. That chair, that little chair, they ain't gonna go through, you gonna do week before last. Bring that bad energy. Bring that bad juju in there. Like this. Hey, you gotta. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here. But yeah, how y'all doing, man? This strong end. Hope y'all having a good strong end. You know what I'm saying? I'm having one. Good weather out there. You know what I'm saying? Got my health and my strength. I can't complain. What about you, P-Lo? What's going on with you? Okay, that's the funky bass basic. I thought you were gonna keep going. Don't worry about it. You got it. Yeah, so we got a couple of guests. We got Nico, GoGoRologist. He gonna come and drop some jewels on this thing called GoGo. He said he got a bombshell he gonna drop today. I don't know what it is. He ain't tell me, but you hear the first right here. You know, got my man Suge. What's been going on with you, Suge?
Good, though.
You good?
Yeah.
That's it? You ain't got nothing else to say?
Not yet. I got bombshell too, I think.
Oh, okay. You got a bombshell?
No, I'm good.
A bunch of trouble folks up in here. Drop the bomb, drop the bomb. Don't blow this zone up. Not while I'm in there, no. You know what I'm saying? Drop the bomb, drop the bomb. But yeah, I'm just gonna hit up on some couple of things that I seen on they send stuff to my phone when you be watching the news, TV, and all that stuff. But they be sending stuff to your phone, and I'm gonna get your opinion. Sit right here for a minute, Peter. So I call Nico on here.
GBG's doing right good. Doing right there. So take you square.
Yeah.
Go home, but you must vacate the premises.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So a couple little things I want to touch on, man. What did you think about
Brothers.
the chair looked like it shrunk when you said
I
that.
don't know what it is, man. Maybe it's where it's sat. You know what I mean? Yeah, that must go down even more.
You up under the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there like I'm in kindergarten. Oh man, there you go. That's as high as it can go. There you go.
That's enough right there.
I gotta be levitating in this chair, man.
Yeah. What about okay? It's this African guy uniting the countries over there in Africa. I think he got like his country and 2 other countries involved. He's trying to unite the whole Africa. Be like the United States of Africa. What you think about? You know what I'm talking about?
You talking about Captain Traore? He the hottest in the news right now.
Guy with the red hat.
Guy with the red hat. That's one of the youngest ever elected to his country.
Walking around with that 9 right there on his hip.
All day long. He say, listen, I don't trust you from what I heard, so I'm coming into the room different. They're not like us.
If you try to get me,
not like
y'all
us.
going with.
That's right, man. So
What you think about it?
I think it's a good thing because you look at it this way. Over the years, they have been taking hundreds of millions of dollars out of the continent of Africa. Those people over there struggling, trying to maintain in most places. So I think it's legit that he holds the resources to his country, and what he's doing is banning all the countries that's on the continent. You know, Africa, one of the biggest continents in the world. They're made of small countries, and all those leaders are coming together, and they're coming on one accord. So they say, why should we deplete our resources to take care of the world when we are not using the resources to take care of our people? Our people are struggling.
Yeah.
So
France,
yeah,
taking from them.
they're making hundreds of millions through that. And they said
they say Elon Musk
that.
reached out to him and said he wanted to get the Teslas over there. He told Elon Musk, "Nah, we already got our electric cars over here. We good.
Yeah.
If I put money in the billionaire pocket,
Yeah.
we can just use that money to generate out." I think it's a good thing he's doing too, man. So
I know it is.
It's like he bringing that fire, and then it's time. And it catch on, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why they say he has so many chimps for it, you know, people
Right.
trying to unalive him. So,
Yeah. And the good thing to me, man, is you already have it in your country. Why would you want to bring an outsource to come out and take the wealth back out? And here's a good thing. Their product is much better than Elon Musk's product. The best engineers in the world have come from Africa.
Yeah.
So their ingenuity is a little bit different.
I just hope all of them can unite and
That's what we're hoping. Everybody get on the same frequency, right? Everybody come together.
yeah. That's one thing. We talked about that forever, but I don't want to stay too long on it because you know it's world news. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
But they kind of folding it. They're not letting it be broadcast as if, you know, like the plane crash we had recently.
the net.
The world know about that. Yeah.
If it
But
was
they
up to
don't.
them,
Yeah.
we wouldn't know nothing about it.
Yeah, our country is filtering it out, though. They're not allowing for our country to see exactly what's happening over here, because there's young people over there leading this revolt over there. It's the young generation come together and say, look, enough is enough. We ain't doing what our fathers did, our ancestors did.
Right.
It's time for us to gather these resources.
Now, they know what they got to do.
They know what they got to do.
Take it back.
They got to take it by force, man.
Yeah.
They say we ain't doing the United Nations thing no more.
Would you go back? Would you go over there and push came to shove?
Let me tell you, if I had to, hey, back it up, baby. Let's go. We heading on over. Let's find out one of them huts
better over there than here.
You already know.
What about you, Shug?
I think I would too. I think I would back up and take my family because, like you said, you're gonna be treated better. You're gonna be treated, like you're supposed to be treated, from your own.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. I seen this girl on the net, right? I just say, boy, I just shook my head. She on the joint. She all the way over there. She talking about she want to come back. She said they treat her nice over there, but she say all that going outside, seeing wild animals that she ain't used to. This, to me, stupid stuff. And she said, I'll put up with the racism. She said, I can't take it no more. He trying to get back over here.
I
ain't
think
used to it.
she'll change her mind. She come back over here.
Well, and see, we was given like way back in the day was called civil right, right? And that's the right that's kind of tricked us because that's the right, and we still don't have it. But you know, my belief is like that's saying that treat me civil, not better than you, or like treat me to make me feel like I'm better than any other person, but civil.
See, that's a whole bunch of BS too, because we got human rights, you know, and for us to have to even fight for civil rights, you know what I mean?
Right.
But whatever we get, we're gonna have to take. Well, they ain't gonna give you nothing. You're gonna get naked.
Yeah, remember
penetration.
Yeah.
That should smell like sanitation.
In the words of Biggie Small.
Would bring forward frustration. Yeah. You already know.
Yeah, so y'all know where we stand on that. So I just wanted to touch bases on a couple of those things, and you can stay on at the seat, Peter, over there. We about to call Nico up. We're gonna do 2 sets. Don't want to get too far off. And
Nico come back up, right?
Yeah, he gonna be right there.
Bring Nico.
Yeah.
Nico got that bombshell.
Nico got the bombshell.
Nico. Have you heard?
Drop the bomb.
I don't know if you heard. We got the CEO of the GoGoRadio Live TV. He actually been doing this thing before all these hundreds of podcasts hit the airway. Back in the day when, you know, if you wanted to hear something about GoGo, it was only a handful. How many was out, Nico, when you strike this up?
I mean, what?
GoGo podcast.
It was none.
It wasn't none?
None.
You sure? Because I know there's one out there that say they've been out there and been doing it the longest.
So that's part of the reason why. Well, not the reason, but the announcement I was going to make. So this week.
Hold on. I want.
This dude here.
Hold on, man. We're going to go to the video. I'm trying to go to the video.
Man, get that together, man. You struggling. So
there we go. Here we come. Hold on. Right here. Video. There you go. I got you. I want your bombshell to be right. You know what I mean? The reason why I said that
it's not a bombshell. It's just actual news. So
okay,
it's good with what you just stated. Said that there's other podcasts that may claim that they was the first or they've been around. So,
and I didn't even know it was relating to.
Well, the funny thing about it, I didn't think about it myself till this morning. But this is our anniversary week coming up. So
what year you started?
I'm about to tell you. So this year makes 15 years.
15 years?
15 years.
Straight running.
15 years of us being live. Now,
got his boots on the ground for 15 years.
That's right. So we started live coming out of the old Plaza 23, which is now Irvin's.
Okay.
Yeah, Irvin's. So which we're doing every Thursday. We're doing Black Print and Storm and Norman up there. This started this past Thursday.
Okay.
So with that being said, yeah. So no, there were no other GoGo podcasts. The station GoGo Radio was live prior to that. But what we used to do is we used to send. I was part of the station a year prior to becoming a part owner or co-owner, and then it was probably out to 3 years prior to us to going live. So when I came to the station, when I was invited to be co-owner, I told the then owner, I said that, well, I don't want.
Who was that then owner?
His name was Lowell K.
Okay.
And he was, when he invited me to be on, I said, well, I wanted to do something different since my experience being in radio was with terrestrial radio, which was, I used to be the producer for the the old school go-go show on WKYS with Craig Black. Shout out to my mentor, Craig Black, who's now on PGC. So when he invited me to be on, I said, well, what I want to do is something different. I want it to be live. I wanted to bring the faces of go-go into this, and make it a live broadcast, right. And so, because that's what I was used to, being live. Uh-huh. And so, and actually, because what I used to do when I did my show, when I started my show years before, it was called Inside the Pocket 101.
Okay.
And so, and that's when MySpace was out.
Right.
That's how long ago that was.
Inside the Pocket. I like it.
Inside the Pocket 101. And so, when I did that, the whole premise of it was to actually go to the shows, record the interviews live at the shows, and then I would tape them, and then I would send them in. But I liked that, being live at the shows. And so what I ended up doing was when he asked me that, my whole thought process was like, well, you know what? Let's keep that whole vibe going, because go-go is a live genre. Right. So we should present ourselves live, and so I reached out to different people that I knew that I wanted on board. Initially, it was DJ Dirty Rico. He was going to do the morning show. I had Super Dan. He was doing a mix in the afternoon. And then in the evenings, I had a show called the Perp Hayes Show. And it was my man Deo and D Nasty. Rest in peace, D Nasty. He died a few years back. And then also I had a show called the Bounce Beat Radio Show, and that was with Nick Cannon. And so I put all that, I reached out to all those people. Lo, he was the tech person, and so I signed my contract to be a co-owner on Martin Luther King's birthday in 2010. And so it took us a few months, a few months to do the technical side of things. I got the people together, and so we went live. And I just looked it up. I thought it was May 4th or May 5th, because we made the announcement at that time I was also co-owner and manager of Subtle Thoughts at that time. And we was at Tacoma Station that night. Okay. And I had Chi Ali make the announcement over the air. Okay. So I looked it up just now, and so I think that was like May 7th. I thought it was May 4th, May 5th, but time flies. So I looked up on that Friday, so we went live the next day. So Chi Ali had I actually got the recording that night that we did that. So so he made the announcement we was going live, and so the next day, GoGo Radio was live. And so so yeah, there were no prior. Matter of fact, there was no such thing as a podcast. People weren't even calling it that at that time. And in a while,
so I'm just because people always try to come back and say this and that and other, but I remember way back when I first came with Chipping them on the podcast, it wasn't even called a podcast. This was years ago, and when I came back years later, I remember this spot right, and it was like a burgundy room. I don't know if it was the same room right here, but yeah, you say you've been doing this 15 years, and when you actually did it, it wasn't a podcast. Just had a mind. You just wanted to put a visual to what y'all was doing.
Well, it was not even just a visual. At that time, it was just live radio. So we was just, it wasn't the visual, because at that time, the camera phones and all that stuff wasn't even popping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there was no Facebook.
But you said you wanted to take and go to the Go-Go's, record yourself.
Well, yeah, I did that. That's prior to us going live.
Oh, okay.
So I was doing that piece, and then I came on. So that was my show, Inside the Pocket. So, but when I came on as co-owner, then I was just managing the talent that I was bringing on board. And so that's why I mentioned those names. So, but when GoGo Radio really hit its stride is when I brought 32 and Billy the Kid on, and that's when we started doing the midday show. And that's when, any and everybody was tuning in to GoGo Radio to see what we was doing, because their personalities were so big, and what was it, not belittling anything, because Rico kicked everything off doing what he was doing.
Right.
So, as a matter of fact, Rico did the exclusive interview that nobody got. It's when we had Donnie Simpson. When Donnie Simpson had retired,
you got that footage?
It wasn't footage. Like I said, nothing was visual back then. It was just all audio, and so he did a live interview with Donnie Simpson, and Donnie Simpson had talked to nobody on no outlets or anything, and so Rico had got the exclusive interview on his show that one particular time. But prior to all of that, the midday show with 32, Billy the Kid, and DJ Super Dan, that was like the talk of the DMV.
Okay.
And so that show was so big that the website couldn't handle the traffic. The website used to crash. We used to have so many people on. So it was crazy.
All right, so it's safe to say you basically was the blueprint of this.
That's the fact.
It's on the ground.
That's the fact.
That's what's up. That's what's up. If you don't tell your facts, and other people don't know, so yeah.
That's a fact. I mean, there was nobody. There was another station that was streaming, but they weren't doing go-go. That was forgot the name of it, but they was on Georgia Avenue, and that was it.
All right, Nico the Go-Go artist is the blueprint.
So
get your shirt.
So when we tried to do this last interview, so I just want to bring, since we're here and everything.
Right. You gotta tell the story.
How the whole Go-Goologist thing came from is from when I first went up to KYS, and I was taking at that particular time I was working with a band called Touch of Essence.
I remember that.
And that was with, at that time, Mike Muse, Stinky Dink, and that's when
was Jahar managing him?
Jahar and Mo.
Okay.
Mo, Mo, who's running the Go-Go Museum right now.
Okay, I didn't know.
They was partners. Yes, they used to have a promotion team called I think it was Red Door Entertainment. I think that's what they was called, and so they was doing. Prior to that, they was doing Sugar Bear and not Sugar Bear, Maisha and the Hip Hookers, real big.
Okay, that was them. Okay.
Yeah, so they was one of the promoters, because Maisha and the Hip Hookers, they was playing 7 days a week at one time.
Yeah, I remember they was the hottest thing.
Yeah.
They didn't really, to me, they the ones that jump started that.
But ain't no to you, that's a fact. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they started the whole thing.
They put these other bands back on the map because the other bands had fell off.
Yeah,
the young bands.
That's a fact.
The show.
That's a fact. That was around 99, if I remember correct. 99.
Trouble, I want you back.
Yeah.
He was saying the bands he wanted them back. And that's the reason why he said he wanted them back.
Well, essentially, it was a 70. It was a band that was playing 70s, 80s covers. And so they was wearing wigs and all that type of stuff. And so
Juju was on the drums.
Well, they brought Juju in later on.
Juju he wasn't the first drummer.
No, they brought Juju in later on.
Juju was in there.
Yeah,
and then they brought Sugar Bear in there.
Right. So that's what brought the whole go-go element in later on. But now, when they started out, they was playing 70s, 80s. They was just a cover tune 70s, 80s band.
Okay.
And it wasn't until Juju's the one that brought Bad.
And that's when they started. Maisha and the Hip Hookers.
Right.
Getting popular. Okay.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Maisha.
Yeah, no doubt. So and so when I went up to KYS and Jahar and Mo Jahar brought me up there, and I was I was just sitting in the back because he was promoting the band Touch of Essence at that time. So and matter of fact, the promotion was we was going up to Club U. And for those who remember Club U, Warren and Big Warren and Lil Warren used to run that spot, which was used to have the hottest parties in the DMV at that time. And so when I was up there, the calls were coming in to Craig about, just various different go-go, questions about, go-go history and whatnot. And so Craig didn't necessarily know the answers to those questions, but I was in the background answering them for him.
Oh, okay.
And so he was like, who's this dude in the back? And so I don't know whether it was him or Jahar or them both, but they the one that called me a go-goologist.
Because you knew you had all the answers.
I was asked exactly. So that's where that stemmed from.
Nico the go-goologist.
And so that's when I went on the radio. And on the radio they always give you like a little nickname. That was my name from there.
Okay.
And so they ran with that.
So Mr. Ologist, let me ask you a question. These the way go-go is being ran right now, right? And the promoters, respect, what do you think how go-go being ran from back then and how it's being ran now? Is it out of control or is it no guidelines, or what's your take? Well, since you've been back there and you've seen this and you put your thoughts to it.
I mean, just like everything, everything, grows over time, so for the better or for the worse, so it depends on how you work within it. So now the bands, speaking of promoters, really the bands are cutting deals with clubs, the venues. And so thus...
So they're moving the promoter out the way.
So to speak, because the clubs are able to do, free parties now because they're selling off their food and drinks.
I seen that change. I seen that. Sometimes
that's probably the biggest change that's going on right now.
Yeah, because I seen something in the boxing world last night when they had that fight out there in Times Square, and they sectioned all the streets. They sold tickets and all that. That's the first time I ever seen that.
Mm.
So I'm thinking the people need to think of new, fresh ideas and capitalize on it. Because after you do it, we'll have a whole swap of people coming behind you to do what you done did.
That's the
innovators are going to be the ones, and the games change. So
that's always the case. Especially our people. We are creative people, the most creative people on the face of the earth, but we don't work together. So-called black Americans, we don't work together. That's through a lot of stuff that's happened to us over the years, over the 500 years of us being. I wouldn't say we was brought here, and we're going into a whole different realm right now. Yeah, because
I wasn't born, my ancestors from here.
Well, I was just about to say we the indigenous people for this land, honestly. Right. So they want us to believe like, we was in slaves and chains and all that type of stuff, but that's a whole nother topic. So, but far as go-go and being original with it, go-go is original form. What we've done with it, and see what I tried to do, and I had this, and this goes back to the 15 years of being in this, and Mo Shorter, manager of Junkyard Band, can attest to this. I told the guys that was on the station at the time, DJ Rico and everybody else, I told them back then, this is when the iPhone 4 was out. I said to them this is going to be the new computer. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I said, it's going to be internet in cars. Everything's going to change. And so what hold on, let me finish. Go ahead. So when I said that, they looked at me, it was like, what are you talking about? I said, I'm telling you, this is going to be the revolution of how everything's going to be seen and heard. And so we're going to be at the forefront of it. And what I meant by that is, us streaming live. So as you see with all the people weren't, like I said, they weren't called podcasts back then. And so, and 15 years don't seem long, but that just tell you how fast technology moves.
How fast time is moving too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
so I wanted to ask you, when you seen that,
when
you
I
just had
said
an epiphany, or made you just thought naturally what?
It's just like right now, I just do research. You know what I'm saying? And so I've always been one. What happened to me? I said I swear it will never happen to me again. So, how my career got started was, as far as in go-go, because I've always been a fan of it. My first go-go was 1980 at River Terrace. But when I got into the business of it was 91. 91 was when I got actually into the business of it, as far as me going out and selling tapes. So when I came home from the military. And so what I saw, what happened in 99, I believe 98, 99, was the inception of CDs. And CDs changed the whole game. And I was hard-headed about that, because I was like, man, I don't like CDs. I want to keep, pushing these tapes.
Right.
But CDs was the new wave.
Right.
And I wasn't trying to move forward with that.
You were stuck.
So, and the reason why is because I like the sound of, I truly believe, to this day, I still believe that go-go will always sound better analog, compared to being digital. Digital, I just don't, go-go is a feel music, and if you can't, and the best way to feel it is through analog. And if you really want to go back, you go back to reel, where it was originally being taped on. You know what I'm saying? So, but tape can give you that more, that vibe, that feel when you listen to music, kind of like, when you listen to albums compared to CDs still to this day, So I didn't want to, I was bucking against that trend. And so when I got left behind on that, I was late to the CD game, and so, when it came to this whole piece right here, and now, and the same thing's kind of happening right now, to be honest with you, because I could have really invested into the whole big podcast thing moving forward, but it was actually what was happening in go-go that made me stop that. But I saw everything that was how it was moving forward, and so when I told the guys that then, they didn't see what I saw. They just knew that they was having a good time, and they was getting a lot of feedback from the street, because people was tuning in and listening to the shows.
Right.
So it was a good experience. But what held me back from growing the station more is that we didn't know how to monetize off the situation properly. And so because we had a salesperson, and Industrial Bank was our actual first sponsor, but our salesperson ended up getting a big job overseas, and he left, and then we never had nobody replace him. And so then I ended up trying to be the salesperson, running the station, handling the talent. No, it was too much. Wearing way too many hats. So and I couldn't do all that. And then my partner at that time, he was an IT person, but he had a full-time job, working with the government. So so he wasn't able to do that. So I'm trying to do all of that, and it just didn't work, So
Party Mode say anniversary.
That's my folks. Yeah. Party Mode been a big part of this over the years, for sure.
Okay.
Party Mode came in, I think.
They said, that.
Yeah, so they came in like maybe 2 years into the start of this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So your answer was, you said a lot. So your answer was to the question was, as far as the promoters and how it was back then and how it was now, Because I think when things be new, it be hotter because it's new, and then as you get older, you gotta it's still good.
Well,
you gotta just like keep reinventing yourself.
I will say this: the bands don't want to be treated like how they were back in the day. Because you gotta look, if you go back to the Joe Clark days and the promoters from back then, they ran everything. But see, once you've been, a lot of these guys has been in go-go for 30, 40 years, they done seen a lot, and they done seen how these promoters have came up off of them, so to speak. So they either want to run it themselves or they want to be in more control of the situation because they see them, that money.
Yeah.
So they want to partner in on the situation. But what comes with that is you got to know the business.
Yeah, because a lot of people they want to jump out there, right? Because they see, like you said, the leaders of the bands or the managers live a certain way, and they jump out there, then they realize be rougher than they thought it was.
Well, it's not just necessarily rougher. You just got to know the business, like what all they did to make that happen. They think it's easy. So the easy part to do is now what they're doing now is jump. They partnering with the clubs.
Yeah,
so there's no middleman. So the club is okay. Well, all we gotta do is come and play. The club is in charge of everything else. Because this is our number. This is what we want, and so the club is going to hire a promoter to promote, whether it be online, hand out flyers, or whatever the case may be, or both, or whatever.
Well, I'm gonna say like this though. To me, that's a step down in a way because you may think I'm just getting rid of a promoter, right? So, say a club, a bar, somebody own a club, say, I don't even really know the numbers. I know the bigger bands get a higher number, but an average band, say they can get the door to sell tickets, right, at one time. And if they're a hot band, they can make a lot of money off the door.
True.
But then you got a lot of other bands coming on ain't got that, right? They ain't got no big followers. So they'll take a cut. And so instead of getting a $1,500, they might take a cut for $1,000.
Right.
Or $800 or whatever. But then you still got this big ass band and you getting the people out because it's free and they spending money. But the band ain't really making no money. So to me, that's a loss as far as to go.
But that's if they're taking a cut.
If who's taking the cut?
The band is taking a cut in their price.
That's what I just said. There's a lot of bands out there ain't got them followers.
Well, yeah, but see, that's where who started that? This whole piece, far as
who started it.
Well, I'm just as far as bands doing their own business and doing their own events. I remember Rare Essence doing that, and so they would partner with promoters, but Rare Essence wanted to run their own situation more so, and so that's where Miss Mac and all of them, they ran their situation. So as far as the door and all of that was theirs, and running the promotions and everything. So you got to, and then I would say the most recent that I remember that was real big on that, and I'm not going to count the Bounce Beat circuit, was what band? They cut out the promoters and said, you know what, we're going to do our own parties and run our own doors, and we're going to maximize the amount of money that we can get. And so when a promoter did come to them, said, well, look, you got to come right because we used to making our own money. Right. And if you can't give us what we used to making, or at least close to that, we don't need you. And it makes all the sense in the world. So Michelle Blackwell, shout out to my sister who's also GoGo Radio alumni. She would go out and get partnership with these clubs like Trade Winds or Classics or whatever the case may be, and it
was inevitable for that to happen because they were saying the promoters was only dealing with certain bands anyway.
Right. So
you can sit back and cry, or you can get off your ass.
Yeah. You got to put in that work. But see, but what I'm saying is though, but they put in the work to build up their own fan base.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So if you can't like now the bands are older, you know, you can't tell me somebody that's in a go-go band, established go-go band is under 40 years old. You know what I mean?
If you look at it, I can't, as far as the younger bands, like
I said it was established older band. You know, so like band, the bounce beat bands, the youngest ones are like.
You look at go-go is what 45, 50 years old.
Man, go-go is about to turn 50 next year.
Yeah, so
50 years.
Yeah, so my thing is when people be talking about is go-go gonna be around and this and that, my thing is why worry about 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road? You don't even know if you're gonna be around. So you worry about the here and the now, take care of that, and the rest gonna take care of itself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you still gotta invest in your future. You know,
go-go never been about. Let me tell you this: go-go never been about. I'm gonna make a living off of this. When have it ever been about that?
It's always been about that to me. I mean, not necessarily to me per se, but if you look at,
if you got 12 people in the band, 11 people in the band. I'm talking about when it first started.
Not even just the band. Not even just the band. Look at the people who's been. I mean, I
say like the owners of the group.
Look at Rio. He made a living off go-go.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about the bands. I'm not talking about the sound man. If you look at it, Rio is one man. You understand what I'm saying?
Who employed other people.
I know, but what I'm saying, he's one man. So he had 11 sound systems at one time. It wasn't just, I know the whole story. I was there with him.
Right.
So the point I'm saying is he was one man and he lived in his studio. I remember telling him one day he had a house and he was saying he was paying $2,500. I said, man, you can put a damn bed up here because you can hook this. Those you don't know what we talking about. He up in that motherfucker now. But no, what I'm saying is you got a band and that one person is in charge of that band, right? He the face of the band, just like about TLC, you had Left Eye, right? That person might not have to work a job. Feel me?
Right.
But if you got 12 or 11 people in the band, everybody not going to be able to live a good living and have a house, car note, electric. You understand what I'm saying?
True,
so that's why I said it wasn't always about
times have changed because you also got to remember this. When you go, reason why I say go has changed because when you're older, now you got more responsibilities. When you're younger, you can live off of that.
I ain't talking about the young stuff.
We're talking about the history of because
grown ass men and women.
Yeah, but what I said was
Chuck Brown, baby.
What I'm saying is like go never reinvested in itself. So and what I mean by that is like you have to reinvest into the youth in order for it to keep go moving. And we never put that effort in. Everybody in go is worried about here and now, like you just said, themselves.
That's what I'm saying. Even this is what I'm trying to tell people. When I was young, I thought go was gonna fall off after I stopped, right? But it's not. I keep telling people that. Young is coming up. If they don't want to, they changed what we did. That's how the bounce beat came about. So the young, we can't expect them to want to play what we did. We can't expect them to want to play the bounce beat. But whatever they choose to play, that's what they're gonna do.
Who coming behind the bounce beat?
I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't mean the music gonna die out.
When you was in go-go, what age you started in go-go? 13, 14 years old?
I was young. But it was a new thing. Actually, when I started playing in the band, wasn't no go-go. I was playing in the R&B band.
Okay.
You know, and
that's why I started.
Then go-go came along, right? And the first band, I couldn't even go see Chuck at that time because they was playing at the cabarets. They playing the cabarets. And my mother, people my mother and father age, they could go see Chuck Brown at the what they call them balls. They used to play at the basin balls and all that stuff every year.
Right.
Well, I seen Red Essence of Dunbar, and that was it was years ago, and it was way before you started going to go. You say when you started?
80.
Yeah, this was before that. So I seen them up Dunbar. When I seen them up Dunbar, little Benny say, "What now?" They was stepping and had the red, white, and I was already in the R&B band. I was like, "Nah, we gonna do this right here," you know. And then I ended up seeing the Peacemakers up the K, y'all. Trouble Funk out the Club to Burn, and it's been on and on. So the point I'm trying to make is, nobody had to tell me that's something I wanted to do. So we ain't got to tell the younger. I seen this band on YouTube, right? I seen this band on YouTube. They was called JoGo, right?
Right.
They was playing at a high school on the stage, and they was cranking. And they showed the audience. This little white boy was in the audience. He looked like he could have been in the 5th grade at the most. But he was doing his hand like he was playing the Congo, right?
Yeah.
That might be our next Congo player. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you don't have to train. If you wanted this station, ain't nobody had to take you by the hand. You understand? If you got a love for something, that's what I'm trying to tell people. The musical, God gave us music. As long as we hear, music gonna be here.
True.
That's just my take.
It's true, but at the same time, while you make a very valid point within that, but I still believe, this is just my take on it, that we have a responsibility to make sure that the music is being procured and brought up by the elders within the game, such as yourself, reaching out to these youngins and pulling them up, because they have different distractions than when you had when you was younger.
I'm gonna say this,
because it's not even just the streets no more. I mean, they got video games and all kind of different stuff where a lot of these youngins don't even come out the house anymore. They in the house, and if they do come out the house, they coming out the house doing no good. So it's different for us. It was different for us when we was coming up, because we was already, as they say now, we was already outside. You know what I'm saying? And so the youngins now, it's a big thing for them to say, "Oh, we outside," But no, we stayed outside.
This is what I want to tell, because we didn't have all this stuff we're having now. So this is what I want to say is, we are, some people say they fortune tellers, but we're no fortune tellers. We can do what we do to try to keep the music alive. That's why I do podcasts, to make tapes, put it out there on the visual. I plant the seed. I can't worry about the growth on it. I plant the seed. You got this podcast, putting out music on, information about it. P-Lo, you can jump in the conversation whenever you get ready, but you
taking it on spongy
play
right
the bass and you love go-go.
Yeah.
So we can just do what we do. Like I said, I'm 62 now, right? I had fun. I played it. I love the music. I still enjoy the music. Well, my son's up in the music. They had a band, H2O. They love the music. And my son got his son playing drums now. If he's going to play go-go, I don't know. But we can't worry about that. We can just install what we got, and God going to do the rest.
I'm going to say that I think that go-go is a hit music. When the genre was created, it was created based on what was already done in the past. You got African drumming. You had rap was already out there, came from African people, African bombardment was already started. So they just took embrace go-go and they sold it and they made it a living genre.
Right.
And it came together. And I can truly say 40, 50 years from now, when we probably ain't going to be here, there's going to be another group behind us sitting at this table doing a podcast talking about go-go, because it's signed, it's sealed, it's delivered. I don't think it's going nowhere.
It's the Congo. They did it in Africa. That's what I'm saying. So, it's a spiritual thing.
It's a remake. Yeah. It's like a remake with what was already done. It just brought all of it together.
I'm not saying that it's not going. Well, put it like this.
It's going to change, of course. We know.
Everything changes.
Right, absolutely. Correct.
Everything changes. I don't care what it is.
Stays the same.
That's right. So, but you gotta look at it like this. What have you seen? Like, what have you seen, effort wise, us trying to pull any youngin'? Because I tell this story right here. How many years ago was this? when Patrick Ewing was the coach of the Hoyas, right?
Mm-hmm.
GoGo Radio was invited out to was out St. E's. We was out there on that campus right there, and there was a big event out there for Halloween, and we was out there handing out candy to the youngins.
Okay.
Right. So yeah. So for Halloween. So my thing was, and I was using the youngins from Bounce Beat Radio with me. I had them with me, and so I would say to the youngins, I say, before you get the candy, what's your favorite go-go band? Now, for those of you, and I know we worldwide, for those of you watching, go-go, even though it didn't necessarily start in Southeast, but the heart of go-go is in Southeast DC. All right. So that's where we was at. We was in the belly of the beast, what I call, Southeast, because, right there off MLK. Yeah. So that's where we was at. So I was asking the youngest, who's your favorite go-go band? And the youngest was looking at me like, what are you talking about? Go-go. So I was looking at the parents. I'm like, you don't teach your kids go-go? They like, man, I was like, don't you listen to go-go?
I had a girl in the show, on the show, she was sitting over there and said her son on the internet, and they're going to go with the internet wherever they can make money from, right? So that's what she said. So, like I said, I'm not here to convince people, but I do know this music is here.
But
and like I said,
what I'm saying though,
it changed.
But my point was, what I was trying to get across earlier is that it's our responsibilities as elders, to let our youngins know the good stuff that we came up off of, and because go-go is a culture. It's not just a music.
Right.
It's a culture. But see, this is the thing what people fail to realize. And I'm pushing go-go. I'm for go-go, but I sit down and I think about a lot of things, right? I think about a lot of different things. And what the difference is, before we, like you say, you seen the trend with them phones.
Mm-hmm. Well, not just the phones, just with technology, period.
People that run the technology, they already seen this way before us.
You already know.
So the trend is set for them to be in front of the screen, not to be out there playing football, not to be out there doing physical stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the way of the future. Unless something happened and it changed, just think about it. You ain't got no more telephones out there on the street corners, right? Mm-hmm. What else is computer shut down? You ain't got a bunch of Mr. G's out there taking pictures.
But why do you think the telephones are gone?
Because everything on the cell phone.
And
you don't have no more CDs, no more record stores.
Everything
they do. I'm gonna tell you why. But
why do you think everything's digital? I know, but
but I'm just walking you through it because they might not know. So you ain't got no more CDs, no more record store. People just have mom and pop store. Wipe that out, right? Anything you doing, they want on here for the one world order. They get you. You don't even want to get no more paper checks. Go straight to the bank, right? They control everything. But guess what? If they shut this down, your whole life is boom, because they got you. People wake up in the morning, before they brush their teeth, they pick their phone up.
That's true.
People go to bed, that phone right there in their face.
It's a person.
They got you. They got you. So what you gonna do? You gonna have to put this down. But the majority ain't gonna put it down.
But that's a great
So that's why I tell you, live life now. Don't worry about you can plant seeds all you want. But it ain't up to us. It's up to the creator. And then we might not even got that much longer. That shit going on with these different countries and people acting a fool in high positions. Right now, Gable blowing that trumpet. Right? You laughing, but he blowing that trumpet now. We so busy worried about all this when all this shit about to be over with anyway.
Yeah. And I was drunk because things changing. That's changing too.
Yeah. Prophecy is being fulfilled.
Black man came up with this. They know this. this was a black man that created this.
Black Mirror.
That you be known.
Not even just the black man, but not even just a black man, but the only way you can get the minerals to make this is from Africa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they raping Africa right now, and they killing people right now.
Oh, hold on. Pump your brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
They ain't raping it like they used to. We already got 3 countries over in Africa that kicked the white man out. They say you ain't got to go home.
And more is following.
And then that president, he trying to unite the whole Africa. It be the United States of Africa.
I know they had 6 more that jumped on board this weekend past along.
But the minerals that come from in order to make
they take it back, but when they take it back, who you think will rise again? Who will get the power?
Well,
and that's what it's all about.
Well, but they was getting it for cheap. That means the price of this will go sky high as well. So that's all.
Pimped, man.
All this shit going on
centuries,
there.
Man, they tired of
when
that.
they already changing the currency. That's 11 countries say they're not going to use American dollars. Right. So what I'm saying is,
you're talking about the BRICS.
Hell gonna break loose before it get better.
Well,
what I'm saying?
That's in history, though.
So
that's history.
So that's why I'm saying, like don't be worried about GoGo 20 years from now.
But you know what?
10 years from now.
Now they gonna
do what you can do here.
Yeah.
Enjoy what you can enjoy here. So we might have to be leaving here.
Now they know what our struggle. Now they know what our struggle has been for centuries now. And you feel the same struggle now because they hit your door now. Yeah. But now you got to deal with what we've been.
But I say these combos and this GoGo to me.
Yeah.
I even start calling it crank therapy.
Yeah.
When people can't get out there and get a good job, take care of their family, or lost a job, getting stressed out, you get in that GoGo.
Plug up this equipment.
Might sip something, or might smoke something, and you get on that dance floor in that pocket. Take the BCB. It's like going in the movie theater almost, right. Where you can take your mind off the problems. But the good thing about GoGo, you moving and you hearing them drums. And disturb. Then you can take it home. That's in the earphone.
That's the name of one of my old shows on here. Crank Therapy.
Oh, for real?
It was on Saturday. Every Saturday.
I thought I created that.
Nah.
Nothing new under the sun.
Check it out. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube.
Hey, goes boots on the ground. 15 years.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I, like I say, he's younger, so at least I can say I was in the GoGo. A little longer. Yeah. So,
but you know what I love though, man, that the founding fathers are still doing what they do. It's a good thing now that Tony's still there, Sugar Bell's still there. You know, Funk. We know he took an absence for a minute, but he's back. He's doing this thing with Essence right now. I'm glad that the original founders, with the absence of Chuck, that they still pushing it. So to me, that's going to pour more generations back and forth because the founding fathers laid that foundation is solid now. Yeah. So more and more youngers know the history. We don't think they don't, but they know the history now, where it come from, how it got started, and even with the bounce beat, I'm curious to find out what's next.
And if you ain't do something, stop claiming you did something just to have a name. Yeah. But they've been doing that since the beginning of time.
Yeah. Founders, man, hey.
Yeah.
You can dip and dive, but the original founders, they never going nowhere.
So that's
the concrete.
So let's get into the health and wellness piece.
Okay. So
we didn't do that last time.
Let's start it off real quick. I want Suge to do the health and wellness. You say you poured, or he dehydrating.
I got it.
It feel good right here. That wind flow is real nice. I can feel both fans.
All right, but don't worry about it. I don't want you falling out.
No, if you don't open the book, I got the bookmark right there about green smoothie. Right there.
How you know Pilo know how to read?
Green burn.
He don't know.
He threw it on you, Pilo.
She'll go and delegate,
been spitting knowledge all day.
So what he got? You should at least get him a head up. Besides, you put you in the spot, Pilo.
He turned to green
smoothie. The recipe for the green smoothie, avocado, all this stuff right there.
Yeah, man. There's some stuff up in here too. Some of the stuff I already indulged in.
Well, just holler over here what you got. So we ain't got it. Them words small.
Herbal
and Pilo senior citizen.
The smoothie recipe incorporates herbal ingredients that offer potential benefits.
Oh, cut right.
You don't want to hear that. I figured
you got this guy right here. He tell you about.
I figured it was good.
This is what I was gonna do. The green. All right. The green smoothie. It's a green smoothie. Yeah.
Just talking about you already read it, so
metabolism.
just tell them. They ain't got to read it. We don't want to hear nobody read.
So
Just tell 'em.
so the green smoothie basically is ingredients that help offer benefits for boosting your metabolism, right?
Mhm.
And it helped with weight management. So what I was going to do is get the ingredients. You can make it right in your kitchen. And the ingredients is simple: cucumber, spinach, one half cup of spinach, a fourth cup of parsley, cucumber, medium slice of avocado, not the whole thing, a half a lemon juice or lemon, just squeeze the lemon, teaspoon of ginger, grated ginger, not a lot of ginger, just grate some ginger, and then some honey. You can put some honey in it for a little taste, help you, because that's a
That
lot of
sounds like a
citrus.
detox.
Yeah, so that's a lot of citrus. So it's basically it could be a detox, but any weight management thing that clean your system, it do serve as a detox with your metabolism, but it's actually like a fat burner also. All those things burn fat.
It can't be a fat burner with avocado in it because avocados are healthy fats. So which is good for you,
Right.
but it's not a fat burner because avocados adding fats.
Yeah. So it's a good fat, like you
Yeah,
said.
they're healthy fats.
But the other stuff with the ginger and the parsley, the spinach, all the other stuff, you kind of mix it in.
Well, I mean, it's not a detox drink; it's a healthy drink.
Right.
The only thing that's really detoxing within that is your ginger and your parsley.
Right.
You know, and those help eliminate a lot of metals. You know, those type of metals, that we pick up, whether it be in the air, our foods, our waters, those type of things. So the big piece that I incorporated in my life is like, it's funny because like I just started on May 1st, a 30-day detox. And so it's an herbal detox where, I'm drinking, 232 ounces of different minerals and herbs to flush out my system, and within doing that, you have to be really careful of what you're eating as well, so not to block what you're trying to do as far as the detox. Because a lot of us within our community, when I say our community, I'm talking about so-called Black or African American community, is that we're not educated on what we're putting into our bodies. And a lot of people think that what we put in our bodies is just what you eat. No, it's lots of different ways that you're bringing in things that are not beneficial to our growth. Because that's what we're here to do. We came into this earth to grow as human beings, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And so anything that's blocking any of those things is going to block the other two aspects. So what we're putting into our bodies, whether it be what we're listening to, what we're hearing, what we're eating, what we're putting topicals, what we're putting on our skins, which is our largest organ, we have to be conscious of that. And 90% of our people are not conscious of what they're intaking. And so that affects what you intake, affects what you're putting out into the universe. And so you can be a lot of us say that we're conscious, but if you're not really aware of what you're intaking, then what you're spewing out is muddy within itself. So I really like for us to really just to simplify things in life. Getting back to nature. Once we do that, then we can really see what's going on within our realm. Once we start simplifying things and looking at foods like eating whole foods. And when you're eating whole foods, it's actually one ingredient foods. What are one ingredient foods? An apple. You know what I'm saying? What there's no additional ingredients into that.
Let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna let you keep going. I like to get it out while I think about it. I bought we at war if you don't know. I bought green pepper, yellow pepper, and red pepper in a case. Set it in my kitchen in the windowsill. Sat there for like 3 days, whatever. Mm-hmm. So it started deteriorating. I was like, why these things get small? So I opened up the plastic and the whole bottom melted, right? So I took and peeled it and put it in water to wash it. And while I'm holding a piece of plastic in my hand, a piece of plastic. So I said all that to say is a lot of this food is GMO and it ain't what it's supposed to be. So from here on out, I'm gonna be just going to that farmer market down the street. Oh. And hopefully I'll be getting, I had got that from the Safeway. But hopefully these farmer markets are gonna give you some real stuff.
Well, I mean, let's go there real quick. So since you're talking about, where you're getting your foods from, and I like to open up the whole spectrum because food can be more than just, like I said, what you're eating. So, but
did you know food actually is supposed to be medicine before we ate it as like everyday thing?
Well, food is medicine,
Yeah, but that's how it's supposed to be. Some people don't eat it like that.
Well, you gotta realize.
If you get technical and go further back, we used to eat the sun at one time.
Well, that's what I was just literally took the words right out of our mouth. So that's because if you're not eating food that grows from the sun, then you're not eating true food. You know what I'm saying? So the sun is food. Sun is three things that you actually need. You need the sun, right? Mm-hmm. You need oxygen, and you need water, which we are made. We're like the earth. We resemble the earth. The earth is 70% water, and so are we.
So some people say we 80%.
We've created from the earth.
Women are have more water content than men.
And then they also say the water,
which they need because in order for them to give birth, they have to have more water content.
More recently, they say it's not the H2O, it's the H3O that come from.
That's right.
Cucumbers, watermelons.
Well, that's H3O too, but your body makes it into H3O.
Yeah, so
but it's simpler for you to do it when you get your water from fruits, because honestly, I left it in there, but I wish I brought it with me. But the water that we're getting, that they're reselling to us, as my Baba calls it, the water cartel is selling to us, is really just remanufactured. Like water is, if you're not getting it from the rain, it should be filtered through your fruits and your vegetables, because that's the natural filter. That's your natural filter.
Yeah.
Because it changes into a form that your body can actually use. Because if you're drinking, as they call it, H2O, then your body still has to do work to change that into H3O.
Yeah. So let me say this, and I'll be like, H2O, H3O. What's the purpose? The purpose of all this, when we telling y'all to eat healthier, is a spiritual purpose, because you will never be able to get complete downloads from God source if you got a classified pioneer gland. They putting stuff in the water, they putting stuff in the air versus through the chemtrails. They putting stuff in the food, the potato chips, the candy bars, the drinks, the sugar that you understand what I'm saying?
Sugar.
Why you think we were so dumbed down? So once you stop, right now, I didn't have no junk foods since December the 31st. I haven't drank nothing but water.
No tater chips?
No, nothing.
Good. I know that was your vice.
I did it in 23.
That's your vice.
I did it in 23.
But it was mine too. I got
you. In 24,
we both Libras, though.
In 24, I went back to eating junk. I said when 25 come around, I gave it up.
Right.
And now I'm on day like 35 with nothing but water.
Mm.
I drink tea, but I will put some nothing but honey in it. And it was so bitter, but I knew that was just me being used to sugar. Now when I look at
bitters are actually good for you.
But I'm just saying, I look at the sweet. I got tea down in my closet that my son had bought me. I just look at it. Every time I get an urge to drink some tea or something sweet with sugar in it, I think about the parasites. I think about some cold water. And I go to that. And then at the end of the day, I feel better. And I done lost so much weight right now. I don't want to lose too much weight. But if it's going to benefit me.
You didn't lose weight.
Future,
you lost waste.
Lost that.
No, you lost waste.
Toxics.
You know what I'm saying?
Toxicities, right?
So.
And I'm doing all this for a spiritual thing. I want to keep this. So when I sun gaze, look at the sun, I get them downloads.
Got a question
because
for
this
both
earth
of y'all.
is switching.
Yeah.
And a lot of people going to be stuck in religion.
Yeah.
And when all this shit happening with Trump and all this other shit we talking about,
diversions,
we're not going to be here.
Yeah.
We're going to be on a different frequency.
Well, you know, what's bad is, and you hold your thought right there, is that we as a community, we encourage being fat or overweight. Our natural size is usually our high school size. You know what I'm saying? And then we start picking up all this extra weight. Say, oh boy, you got that healthy weight on you. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not healthy weight. Well, no, we just don't know no better. We don't know no better. Oh, we did know no better.
A certain age.
Yes. You know, so no, you because it becomes harder for you to move around with that extra weight on you when you get older. But if you keep your natural size, then it's not a problem. Like when I was in Japan, I was in Japan for 3.5 years.
Okinawa.
No, I was in Okinawa. I was actually in Tokyo, you know. But Okinawa was the Navy base. I was in the Air Force, and so but over there, like them older people, they in their 80s, 90s, and they still walking around, you know, farming, doing this and doing that,
and they move.
And they sit there all day long, all day long. Like it ain't nothing to them. You know why? Because they don't eat the foods. Well, one, they stay active, but they don't eat the foods that put on that extra weight. And so you go back to what you were saying earlier, as far as there's being a war going on. Thinking of it actually started from the war. Because that's when they started really changing the food and putting products. We're eating food, well, not we, but they giving us food products, food-like products in the stores. So if you're not getting food from, like, well, I would say the produce section, but you got to understand most of the food that comes to your grocery store is come hundreds of miles away in order for it to get into your grocery store. So how does it stay fresh on your grocery store table? They have to put chemicals in it in order for it to stay fresh. Because otherwise,
transport life.
Otherwise,
it's
gonna
go bad, and they lose money like that.
They use technology. I seen them make lettuce.
They have to.
Yeah. They make lettuce out of plastic.
Wow.
Yeah, they got stuff floating around in there now. People bending bread. You know how bread's supposed to break.
Yeah.
It's opening back up. So they got, like I say, it's up to us. It's up to us.
All you gotta
each and every individual on their own. Yeah. You sick, tired of being sick. I know people right now on dialysis. They're eating fried food, drinking sugar, like they're waiting for God to jump down here and give them a miracle.
But let me ask y'all this: we're talking a lot about water, the intake with food and things like that. But what about the stuff we use on our skin, like deodorant, lotion?
I was talking about that
earlier. All of it. I go natural deodorant, natural toothpaste, natural mouthwash.
And what is natural? So that, and a lot of us don't necessarily know what natural is. And so I like I say, if you keep things simple, then you should be able to decipher that for yourself. If you're looking at the ingredient list, number one, if it's more than four to five ingredients, then it starts
That's a
becoming
flag.
exactly. Then if you reading it and if it looks like a chemistry test to you and you don't know what the words are, that's another red flag. That should be your major red flags.
Definitely.
Because those are chemicals in that product. Period.
I remember
They put petroleum jelly.
And all kinds
You know
of
what I'm saying?
stuff.
That's gasoline. And people put it on their base.
It's gasoline waste.
Wow.
So that's
But still,
that's
gas with the gas.
yes. Yeah, that's the waste.
Dick Gregory broke that down years ago. That's when I first heard
We
it.
violating
And
our temples, man.
But
with
see,
all
over
that.
there in Europe, it was against the law. See, America got a lot of stuff right now. They putting in food. And them other countries, they can't put it in that same food.
They can't.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of money.
They can't export that.
Yeah, and the country's not having.
And one doctor told me,
Jamaica and them countries I've been to, they don't have stores on every corner. They be eating sugar cane when they want something sweet.
That's right.
You feel? And then they not on be walking and riding bikes.
and we're about to be chemically treated or nothing like that. It's natural out of the ground.
America, man, we here in these boxes called homes, and we got everything at the fingertip, but we got poison. Because why? You know why? The hospital is business.
That's right.
Keep you sick.
Right.
Keep you on blood pressure.
$1 industry.
Well, most that true because you gotta look at our debt. You know, a lot of our debt, America's debt, is within the health industry.
Right.
You know, because we pay out a lot of money to the health industry. So, you know, so Medicare and all of that. Yeah, that's part of our debt right there.
It's
so
the sad part. Medicine is not the same anymore. Doctors get paid bonuses and money to prescribe.
Well,
and kill.
they can't make no money if you're healthy.
That's true. You're right about it.
You know, and so if you know, and a lot of times they pushing these prescriptions, you got to remember the pharmacy, the pharmacists, in the pharmacy industry is one of the biggest lobbyists on Capitol Hill.
And you look up the word pharmaceutical, and you know what that. You don't know what it means, but I'm giving you some homework. I know what it means, and you look it up. I learned that from Polite. You know, Polite.
Brother
Polite,
who's locked up right now.
Got locked up, but he locked up, but that dude smart.
He is. But he also was robbing a lot of people. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, but he got that knowledge, and what I'm just saying, I can learn something from anybody.
Yeah,
that's true. I don't.
That's
say
true.
you did this.
Yeah. Not everything he said was wrong.
Young Farrell, I learned a lot from him, and then later on he started selling out. You know, because he said basically most of all the leaders get killed or go to jail. And he said, I'm not going to jail for you Negroes. He said, I don't care about it at the end of the day. But he was dropping some jewels. Yeah. And I picked what I could get and it would benefit me. And I keep it moving because it's just right now. I had a train of thought of something I was gonna say, but when I got into talking about that, I lost my train of thought. But we're here and we're trying to give y'all information to live longer and to better your life. And because the way I see it, a whole lot of y'all going to hell with gasoline rolls on. And I ain't meaning after you die. I mean while you living. Because hell is a state of mind. Yeah. Heaven is a state of mind. And I was there snorting coke, drinking Hennessy, smoking weed, PCP, eating fried food, eating whatever, doing whatever. Yeah. But I listened to that voice in me who was telling me at certain times to stop doing certain things. And even back then, I didn't even know it was God. I thought it was just something in me telling me to stop doing certain things. And I did it. And then once I started getting more clear-headed, right, and started getting more download, I see. And then I'll be like, why waste the time? But somebody's going to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Might not be today, but they might see this video, coming, because we wasn't always here. And we just dropping jewels. That's my job here now, is to drop jewels on the young people, the older people, whoever need it or want to listen to it, because you look at us as a whole, you're like, oh, but then I look at this young generation coming up, they don't even want to hear the way we did it because we let them down. You feel me? they got a whole nother mentality. But I actually like their mentality because they don't give a F. And that's what we're going to need.
Themselves for the consequences.
That's what we're going to need.
Fighting for what they believe in.
Just imagine, we got all these people over here. But just imagine we had one person over here, two persons over here, three persons over here, that throw like that man over in Africa. I know I'm one of them. Like
Captain Traore, remember that name?
See, we over here and we comfortable. Yeah. We talk a good talk.
Yeah.
Right? But is we going to stand up when they come to you and say, look, you getting these motherfuckers concentration camp.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to stand up, fight, heal, or die? Yeah. Or you gonna take your ass in them camp?
And he told me I ain't gonna be no cow. This is what I believe in.
But a lot of people say some shit, but then they wouldn't took the jab when they told you to take the jab. You feel me? You know what the jab is.
Yeah.
So I ain't get it. I ain't gonna get it. I'm ready to take this thing to the end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's just how I am. But a lot of people just comfortable.
Yeah.
They want to get that check. Yeah. They want a daddy.
Right.
Or uncle. Yeah. And take care of them. Yeah. They love riding them cars and living in big ass houses and got that meat and freeze. As long as I do what daddy say do. You feel me?
Yeah. Remember the march through Birmingham?
Ain't no sweet end to this shit. When we tell y'all to eat good, they gonna wake you up.
Those young people got that revelation.
Up, you can't go back to sleep. Big Reggie say, once you put them glasses on,
you won't.
You can't take them off.
That's right.
But you can't make nobody else put them on.
Yeah.
You feel me? You can just drop some knowledge and hope they get it. But at the end of the day, you gonna see through all the bullshit.
Yeah. But I'm proud of our people though, man. Our people is one of the most
right.
That's a profound information.
Get the back. Like
no. But I'm proud of our people.
2-3 years ago, we've been hitting you with the lights off.
No,
get him out of here.
Going the wrong way. I got a little ass reflux. I know some of these books that have fixed that, but I'm proud of our people, man. We've done a whole lot of accomplishments. We've done so much, man, to trigger to make sure that this world ran like it is today. Because of our race of people and our accomplishments and all that we've done culturally, and it's all throughout the globe. It ain't just stop in one place. We've done it all.
But who benefit off of it?
Well, we know that.
You do the lights.
Right, that's right.
They come up with a light bill.
Right, that's true.
You do this. Right. I done seen a country over in Africa. These young guys, they found some rocks off a mountain, and they put the rocks together. Electricity.
That's
they had to drop. Right?
That's that vibranium they talking about.
You ain't hear about no more of that shit no more. But I bet them folks went over there and got them rocks
and trying to confiscate that. You know,
a guy told me back in 2011 that we got free energy in the air. Yeah. We got free energy all around us.
Yeah.
I thought he was tripping.
Nah.
But now what's coming up? You see what I'm saying? But they charging us for it.
Man, you could take an old alternator out your car, get you some belts, get you a piece of wood, tack it down, get you some electric batteries, some electrodes, create some electrodes and some carbines, and you can create your own energy. People have been pretty much defined another way that we ain't creative enough to be able to do stuff like that. But they took the idea from us.
I seen a little baby.
Now we got to pay a Pepco bill, like you say.
They put a light bulb on his hand.
Right.
Lighting the light bulb.
Yep.
So,
I saw that. He have a high electricity level in his body.
We electric. We live in electric.
That's
beings.
energy.
We only supposed to be eating meat.
I seen the guy in that.
Right.
Thing, like the phone charger.
Yeah, I seen that.
Put it in the banana.
Yeah. See,
and it charged up.
See, what's happening is their world is crumbling. We're in the age of Aquarius. I keep saying this. All truth won't be told. It's up to us to grab hold to it. Yeah. But like I say, we were so programmed, so beat down, we don't want to get out there and do the work. Well, we want somebody to give us. But for us to take control again, it's going to have to come to an end.
And William Lynch philosophy.
And they're not going to give up. They're going out fighting.
Yeah. They trying to keep you asleep, bro.
That's what they want to do.
As long as you watching TV and you see the McDonald's commercial, you see that, and as long as you ingesting these things to block you from waking up to reality, and your reality is truly what life is.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So there is no I got to do this or far as like I'm trying to reach that. No. If you live in the present moment, that's your reality. You know, and so what what we get caught up in is all this the marketing, promotions, far as what you want to achieve. No, live for now. Live for now, like you said earlier, you know, and try to accomplish what you can within.
Right.
You know, because this is your real house within. It's your house.
And I'll actually be honest with you, music. That's why I told you when I was on Win DC Radio and you said you want to put me on this side, and I was like, I'm not just about go-go. Feel me? Go-go is just a form of music, but I'm about other things. So that's why a lot of times when I be dropping jewels, it seems like they fall on deaf ears, but Spirit told me I got to keep doing it because it ain't falling on deaf ears. But it's so much more that we get this mind together, anything we think, right?
I agree.
It'll happen. That's how we're supposed to. But they dilute us with all this stuff that they put in us, classified as pioneer command. Because now I be at a point sometimes I gotta watch, or if I think something, I gotta say I don't read in terms of this, and I go back and counsel. Because sometimes it be some evil stuff, right? Somebody did some shit, or this could just be some bad stuff. And even not just me, even with these phones, they can send thoughts to you.
Oh yeah.
You know, how many times, man, you should have talked about something, and then it's on the phone.
You open up the phone and it pops right
Right.
up.
Well, just was talking, just listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, the series
That
in
was
the
my
house.
watch.
It's AI.
Series
Everybody
in
got
the
AI
house.
in their box.
They be calling everything and sending it to an iPad.
Right.
So,
right.
but our mind, they can't fuck with our mind once we get your mind right, young man. Remember they teach you to say that.
Yeah, all day.
They building stuff.
Mine is a terrible
They
thing.
building
Waste
this internet and the AI from
Yeah.
this end.
from there. You read about
And they
it.
gonna try to tell us the AI gonna be outsmarting us. Nah, because we get our downloads from the source.
Remember, you just sent me this video the other day about that lady pushing the robot to the ground.
Yeah.
What they did was they put the black ghetto
And we
voice
got
in the
back up
robot.
there, yeah,
So now they're trying to emulate what they think that a negative side of us is. They put it into the robots.
yeah,
The robot got up and went
everything
totally.
on social media
Yeah.
they got.
He went
All
ghetto.
the
I ain't never
Facebook
seen that.
pages, your
Did you see that?
MySpace.
You got to check that out. It's
Once that stuff
yeah.
hit the web, somebody got it.
it's on. I think it's on his page.
I ain't say somebody they got it. They got your whole
Yeah.
life. Because people put that, they even know you. That's how deep it is. And then sometimes they send you thoughts. You ever hear about them people a couple of years back, he went up there in Pentagon.
Yeah.
He was shooting all up in the office. And was it Pentagon? It was the Navy base up there. And he said the bosses was telling him to do it.
Oh, the black guy that shot up the yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
He was a contract over there. That was the
Yeah.
the money.
And he said the
short
bosses
his money
said,
and wasn't gonna pay him.
that's
something.
real.
Yeah.
You know, and we alive elected. Even I'm going to quantum physics. When you go to sleep at night, you think you're dreaming. Your conscious is somewhere else. Your body in the bed is sleep, right? But you're conscious. How do you think they say you're gonna die? You go to heaven?
Yeah.
Your body gonna be gone. You're conscious.
Yeah.
They got this game out now. They got people putting the thing on their temple, and they go like this. If they be inside the game, they conscious. People sitting in the cafeteria at school like this. They there.
That's the first phase
We
of the mind.
can't even comprehend the idea and the thought,
Yeah.
but they're already there.
Right. But the second phase is subconscious.
Why you think they were selling
Right.
space when you come to these computers? They were selling real estate inside the computer.
Yeah.
Reason being, when they fuck this earth up enough, they gonna have you land somewhere and you gonna be inside a computer.
You'll be in the matrix.
We in one
You'll be
matrix.
trapped in the
Why
matrix.
you
Yeah,
think
the spiritual matrix.
That's why I say they so far advanced.
Right.
People can't even comprehend. So, but when you know these things, I listen a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Because people get to looking at you like crazy or this and that and other. But I just read your energy.
Yeah.
You know, most of us come around me, they ain't even gotta say nothing. I just be in the room with them. I was like, okay. You know? But if the vibe is there, be cool. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's your point. But that comes from putting in that work.
Yeah.
by watching what you watch with these eyes, what you putting in your body, what you were talking about earlier. You got 5, 6, 7, 8 senses. They just gave you 5. Whenever they tell you everything, they don't tell you. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And the more you know, you find out other shit. That's why a lot of people move on. And why you think our ancestors can communicate with? Because they conscious. The body gone.
Yeah.
You know, why you think they talk about dementia? All this stuff for another show if we ever get there. But I gotta have somebody that can bounce off with it.
Yeah, that's why you gotta watch. I agree with that's what you gotta. That's why you gotta watch what you put in your body.
I've been serving like a motherfucker.
That's right.
I'm waiting for the ball to come back. You know.
Got this tin. My neighbor just gave me a brand new tennis set, 2 rackets. I got about 20 balls in the cage.
Is you gonna use it though?
I'm
That's
gonna use
the
them
thing.
things. I'm gonna use them.
You gotta find a
But he's
wall.
75 now.
Find
You
a
see the
bill.
brother, yeah.
Find a bill. Remember back in the day we used to go outside with the tennis.
Go out there with the wall. And that's how I got
Yeah.
started with the wall.
That computer came out. You ain't been out there since.
Yeah, see,
You playing on the computer though.
We don't go back to that because people are not physical no more. Like you said, they all into
Some
the
people. I'm riding bikes every day.
Yeah.
I'm walking.
90% of people are not. We just a small. Everybody is into the technology. They want this.
I ain't even concerned.
It's run their life now. There's nothing physical happening too much. Look out on the streets, you'll see.
You can just tell people, but it's up to you to get out there and make some.
That's true.
Every time I go in my backyard now, whether it's wintertime or summer, I'm walking barefoot just so my feet touch that earth. Feel it. And that's grounding, right? My hands.
That's because we're electric people.
Yeah, that's true. We're
And you
conduit.
need that if you electric, why you not sun gazing?
We're living conduit.
Try to be in a plant trying to grow without a plant getting sun.
Yeah.
You know, I got plants in my kitchen and my dining room by the window. They been living for years. That sun come, I only had curtains in the back of my house. I took all the curtains down. Little shutters you pull up, I took them down too. Because there ain't nothing back there but a yard, a big yard. And I want that sun coming.
You know, if somebody gazing in your window, they up on your property and you got rights.
Oh, if they got it,
got rights.
I don't give a fuck about that shit. They
rights.
see titties, ass, dick, whatever. If you that hard up, go and do your thing.
What's
Just
the
don't let me
rating
find
of
out.
this
You
show?
feel
What's the
me?
rating of the show?
I'm just saying, grown people, right? So, like I said, I got some land, so with my windows that I ain't even worried about that. Now in the front, I got curtains. So, with that being said, man, we got like 10 minutes. What you want to drop on the people, Nico?
Go back to I don't know. You want to stay on health and wellness, or we want to go to the go-go? Back to the go-go.
Whatever. I'll do it. You got any change? I ain't got no time to say heads, tails. We can do five votes. I just asked you some questions about go-go.
I want to ask y'all.
You gotta talk loud, but or come over here and sit in that chair right there.
I want to ask this question for all 3 of y'all. For the last
You know you're getting dark today, right? Getting dark. But you was sick or something?
I ain't
Talking about it.
sleep good last
I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, but go ahead. I know it's hot in here, Nico. What we gonna do about that?
It feels good to me.
Man, it feel cool to me.
Yeah.
So I want to ask this. Since all 3 of y'all here, that benefits me, right?
Right.
To learn. Yeah, I'm putting information in. I don't know about everybody else. I hope they are, but I'm just speaking for me. So I want to hear each one of y'all give encouragement about to someone my age, a young guy that's into music, that's interested in moving forward.
You young?
Kind of young.
Okay, there you go. I see you smoking pipe out there.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Because for Nico, like the music that I like to do, I heard y'all talk about Maish and the hip hop earlier. I knew about them, but didn't really follow that. But like with my band, my idea when I started my band, Sugar Ray Recover, is to recover more 70s and 80s type music and some rock style as well. So for someone that's trying to create their own identity, right? Even in go-go, right? It can be done because hearing you say that is almost like whoever Maish and the hip hop was, and I heard it, it's like they had their own identity and then they just transitioned and added go-go, right? So for someone that is looking and trying to figure out like, how can I do? I want to be I want to do something unique, but I still want to add other go-go pieces and rock pieces and jazz pieces. You can do it, but how to encourage somebody on giving a thought to how to look at that, how that look for you.
Well, ain't nothing new underneath the sun, first and foremost. So all music that you hear, it was created in some shape, form, or fashion. So it's about connecting with what you vibing. You know what I'm saying? So the best music is what you feel. And that's what makes go-go probably the most unique and best music out there, because the only way it's played is through feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So, but as far as other types of what you want to incorporate into your particular style and to make it unique, it's what you hear and you grow with. You just take it and make it yours. Simple as that. Because you have to connect with it. Because if you don't connect with it, then you can't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like what Chuck did with Moody's Mood, or any of these older jazz songs that he grew up listening to. He just put his own twist behind it. Not just the go-go beat, but he put his own twist behind it because that was him. And so when we hear it, we don't even know the original. We know what Chuck did, and we thinking that's his song. Nah, the same thing with you. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a song, whether it's your song or you taking a song or a piece of a song, like I was listening to JD, who helped create Criss Cross and a whole bunch of little bands. The producer down in Atlanta, who's actually from New York, but he was just talking about how he was piecing music together to make tracks. And he'll take something from here, take something from there, and it'd be his.
Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah. So he ended up making it his, but he was getting it from a little bit from everywhere, because he listened to a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and so it's always about making it yours, but you got it from somewhere else, and that's just in life, so just like this conversation that we having here today, we heard something, we interpret it, and then we spewing it out through we the vehicle now, and so somebody else might not know that knowledge, and they say, well, I got that from him, but we got it from somewhere else. Like he said with Dick Gregory, it's crazy you kept bringing up Dick Gregory. He was the reason of my transformation through that book, Cooking with Mother Nature. When I picked up that book, who remembers Pyramid Bookstore on Georgia Avenue?
I remember that.
All right. That's where I used to go.
The book changed mine. Eat and Live by Elijah.
Oh, How to Eat to Live, yes.
That would change me like that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you brought that up because I read that prior too. Okay. Well, no, I read that prior too, because what got me into the Nation of Islam was Public Enemy.
Okay.
Listen to the Public Enemy in what was it, 88 when that joint dropped? It takes a nation of millions to bring us back.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes, so I'm gonna say something that Pilo said. That was great answer, Nico.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying with that in itself, you remember how Public Enemy used to bring in samples from all over, from different ways. But when you heard PE, I mean, just
power. They was more on that revolutionary shit.
Yes, but everything that you heard was generated from something that they knew and grew from in the past, and they made it theirs.
So what I'm gonna say to that is, everything begot everything in this world. All the way in the back to up here. Somebody did something, somebody looked at it to begot something else. Like they say the names in the Bible, such and such begot such and such. Such and such begot such, and all of the generations of names, right? Somebody had a piece of corn. They took that one piece of corn and they got popped. in different things. So everything you do. So I would encourage you as being a younger person, do what you feel, right? Don't worry about what somebody else say, because you're gonna always have the knock. Ain't do
Naysayers. Yeah.
Naysayers. So do what you feel. If the mainstream don't F with it, don't worry about it. You do it because you feel it, right? And I told a guy yesterday.
That's what music all about.
I told a guy yesterday, I say, they had a show coming up, and I was like, you gonna do a flyer about that? Nah, man, just a private bit. I said, nah, pump your brakes. I say, because anything you do represents you, represents your band. That's your brand. If it's a private event, go ahead and do a flyer, right? How a sound man pays fee $400. That way you ain't got to run around. You can make a good CD, and it's quality. But if you shortchange yourself, how you expect somebody to invest in you? And you cheating yourself. So don't cheat yourself. Do what you feel. And once you got the product, push it by any means necessary. Don't sit on that product. Start on your next. Don't let grass grow up under your feet. That's what I say.
My man. And they said some good nuggets on that. So I'm just going to talk to you about the spiritual side, the financial side. The spiritual side, financial side. When it comes to music, pretty much, music is costly. It's going to cost you to be in music, equipment thing. So store up finances. Get your finances in control when you want to go out there. If you want your label, it's going to take money to do that. You want some kind of backing. You don't want the industry to try to back you, because guess what they're going to do? They're going to take the show. They're going to run you. They're going to ruin you when you get to a certain level. They're going to own you, and you have to give up your
kill you off.
Exactly. So build up your finances. Establish that. And let's talk about the spiritual side real quick. Spiritual side, music started in heaven. Started in heaven. Chief musician was kicked out of heaven because his mindset changed, because he wanted to run everything instead of getting with the program. He's already in paradise. Now we're here on heaven. Now we're here on earth, and we got to deal with music today. But music is a great thing. It energizes the mind. It helps you to find the negative or the positive based on how you put it out there. So try to make sure your music is not going to destroy people's mind. Make sure that it's going to grow folks. Make sure it's going to reach a community that's going to reach out and going to have your back. Because like you said, music is a dog-eat-dog world type business. All of us sitting here, we know that. We've seen it over and over again. You know, you try to be your own, but if you sell your soul out, if you sell yourself short, somebody's going to end up owning you, wrapping yourself up, and you ain't going to be worth nothing. So make sure music is growing you, growing your community, and remember, stack your finance. Don't take that for granted that, you don't need money. You stack your finance. That's what a lot of people lack. Like Nico said, learn the business, and part of that business is your financial aspect. We don't talk a lot about that, but we need to get into that deeper when they're talking about your financial growth. That's my nuggets.
With that being said, man, I want to thank everybody for being on this panel. I just want to say, Nico, yeah. So safe to say this man is the blueprint. You say he got 15 running. He was the first to do the podcast, and he says facts. I didn't say it.
Well, within GoGo for
yeah, as far as GoGo.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about in GoGo world. Yeah. So, but I done heard other stories floating around out there. So I'm gonna leave that at that. We don't be dropping names too much in here like that. But it is what it is.
Well, I don't know whoever saying that. I would like for them to bring them receipts. That's all I got to say on that.
Bring the receipt. There you go. Paper them dates and paper timestamp.
You got the receipts. Bring the receipts.
My receipt is May 2010. That's when this whole thing kicked off. So if you started
you
before
got a
then,
date, a specific date.
Like I said, it was the crazy thing about, like I said, I gotta pull it up. But I thought it was actually May 5th. But when I pulled up the calendar, it was saying something like, because when we made the announcement, we was in Tacoma Station. It was going to be the next day, but we didn't air till that Monday, because that's when Rico came on that following Monday. So I didn't look it up, but it was first or second week of May. For sure.
So what's going to be the celebration? What's going to be the celebration?
We're going to do something. I mean, I'm be doing a little something here and there all over. So, but we're gonna do a big one over Emory Heights with June. He does something every year. So Big June from Party Mo Live. They do something out there, off, I believe that's off Upshur Street, if I remember correctly. Correct me. No, but Emory Heights. We're gonna be back on top of the hill this year. And so we got all the bands out there this year. We got Black Print. We got there's a whole bunch of bands that's gonna be on the card this year.
They do that every year.
Yeah.
We got somebody in here from Los Angeles.
That's what's up.
LA in the house. LA in the house.
Yeah.
Johnny, Ricky.
Oh no, that's Shawnee baby. Used to play with Pleasure.
Oh, okay. I see it.
Yeah. She been with Los Angeles. If you remember, that was Arsenio Hall's drummer. Yeah.
Oh, okay, the female, the drummer. Oh,
yeah.
If that's the same
that was
one,
Shawnee baby.
Pleasure.
She's working at the hospital. Nah, the one I knew played with what's that girl group, Belladonna, and but I remember she was telling me the girl left and went to play with him. So that's who that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Shawnee.
Thanks for tuning in.
What's up, sis? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, y'all, we might be here next week, but if not, I got a guest coming on week after next. But we got to see what's going on. We also got a show coming up on the 24th. Sugar Velvet cover band. We're gonna be doing that. What's the name of that spot, Danny?
Mill Point.
It's way down
Now.
by the. What's the name of that spot I thought it was?
You said
Something Breakfast Creek. What's the name of that? It's down that way. But it's down. It's down there by the water.
310 all the way at the almost in the 310 water. That's thing.
Yeah. So,
It's
but we're gonna make some videos. Some
Tell me out there where
videos.
Aqualand is at?
Aqualand?
Yeah.
I don't know where that's at.
Okay. You talking about right before you get to Virginia?
Yeah.
Chaps.
Yeah, that's where Aqualand
We
is.
ain't gotta go over that big bridge, do we?
Oh, that's King George. That's King George County.
That water brown out there, joint.
They got a brand new bridge.
We had a couple of big concerts out there. Matter of fact, Chuck was out there with us one time when we had a bunch of different bands out there.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah.
I know St. Mary's County.
Yeah.
So
That's
if
right.
you pass Buzz Creek that way, Buzz Creek,
Well, I mean,
That's out 301, ain't it?
Fort Tobacco and all of that. Keep on heading down till you go toward King George County.
we doing a birthday party.
Private birthday party. So yeah, so that's gonna be the 24th. So we won't be doing the show on the 24th.
okay.
So we're gonna be doing that.
Well, that's Memorial Day weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't heard it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit no old man because you
I'm
already
in the house, but I'm already look. Look, man. I blocked that day. I
you already got
blocked my
your sign
calendar.
up.
I blocked my
You know,
calendar.
niggas
for
say, oh
that day
man,
already.
without
You good?
getting on the phone, not answering the
Yeah.
phone and
That's
all
all
that.
good. I'm in the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. That's Memorial Day weekend.
I'm already locked
Yeah.
in.
All right,
Look,
cool.
that's my sister's birthday weekend,
I'm just
but
gonna
I'm
hit
locked
this
in
button
with
right
you,
here.
bro. We locked in all. I celebrate with her
All right.
Friday and
We
Sunday.
outta here.
Nico, happy anniversary, my brother.
Appreciate you.
I believe when you say
What's up, Big Daddy?
It's a fact.
Real special dedication what I put my man Larry. Big Larry and also Big Bruce. Ready to get loose. Well, special dedication when I just with my girl named Hannah. Let's see Hannah. Lucille, come back where you belong. Also, Sweet Sheila from Landover. You see Sheila? Come out here, looking for a hot night for you, baby. We're gonna put you in that spotlight because you are real. Yes, you are. She's real, yeah. She is the real Superman. It ain't nobody out there good enough to snap that thing. She